All right, guys. Hello and welcome to another episode of MESC Red Devils NCR. It's good times being a Man United fan in the last couple of weeks. We've turned a corner in terms of performances. Our team looks cohesive. Our team suddenly has learned how to play for the badge, and all is again sunny on the red side of Manchester. But there are still some things that need to be ironed out. Like Erik has constantly pointed out that this is going to be a long process. He's told the fans to temper expectations in spite of the good performances that have been there, and rightly so. That is what I believe. And we're going to keep on talking about that throughout the course of the season. For now, I have three esteemed gentlemen with me, Antriksh, Sandeep, and Abhijit. And today we're going to talk about what is going to be Ten Hag's best 11. So over the last four games, we have come closest to seeing what is a settled 11 for a Man United side in recent years. Over the last 2 to 3 seasons, we've always had lineups that are subjected to change. We've chopped and changed at every given point in time. We've never had something that resembled a settled 11. The only time that we came close to what was our settled 11 was during Project Restart after the COVID pandemic hit, where we played the same 11 for close to 10 to 11 games. But then, even then, that was not exactly our best 11, but a one that was born out of choice. Here, Ten Hag has an entirely brand new crop of players and a set of existing players to pick up as well. So I'm going to put forward questions to our members here to see what, according to them, is their best 11. Because I certainly feel that this is not our best 11. We still have a couple of players who are yet to be integrated into the side. And we have some players who can be used, some players who seem to have their days numbered in the lineup, and we go ahead. So we start with the goalkeeper. Okay, we start with the goalkeeping position. Over the years, De Gea has been our only constant in the 11 where we've seen chopping and changing all around. But now he has competition, albeit for a year, in the form of Martin Dubravka, who's come on loan from Newcastle. So keeping both the goalkeepers on a performance pedestal, purely from a performance pedestal, notwithstanding De Gea's service to the club, De Gea's contribution to the club in the past years, but on recent performances, who do you think would be the best goalkeeper as per Ten Hag, or will he persist with De Gea? Will he be with De Gea throughout the season, or will Dubravka usurp him as our number one? I'll put forward this question to Sandeep. What do you think, Sandeep?
Yeah, so I think Dubravka. So we have all heard and seen this challenge with De Gea that there is gaps in his passing ability or maybe playing out from the back, that ability which Ten Hag likes to do and which he tried for the first two games and then completely gave up against the next four games starting with Liverpool. So I think Dubravka might have a place in the starting 11, but if you talk about the best 11, which will be Premier League, which we'll be focusing on, I think De Gea has his spot, fixed until and unless a very bad run of forms come, where he's making mistakes and not helping with the distribution, because Ten Hag plays high possession, high pressing. So De Gea has to adapt to that, and we have seen him coming out of his line and trying to do things. So I think might try to instill that in him, but the place is pretty secure for De Gea as far Premier League is concerned. For Europa League and Cup games, I think Dubravka deserves a fair chance because he has that potential ability to pass out from the back better than De Gea, and he can easily fight for the spot in those games, Cup games, and the Europa League. So I think for the Premier League, we'll primarily see De Gea, and for the Cup games and the Europa League games, I think we can see Dubravka.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair assessment, keeping in mind that both goalkeepers share duties responsibly and depending upon the competitions, and rightly so. Antriksh, what do you feel? Like Sandeep rightly pointed out, Ten Hag wants the goalkeeper to be the first line of attack, and he wants attacking moves through be built from the back, and for that you definitely need a goalkeeper who's adept with the ball at his feet. So based on that parameter, who do you think would fit into the best 11 for our season among the two?
Right. I think, as Sandeep I just mentioned, I mean, it's hard to disagree with the fact that De Gea, purely even on performance basis right now, it's hard to see him leaving the starting side until and unless he just goes through, a bad run of form, something that he had post World Cup, maybe something of those sorts could actually sort of harm his place in the starting 11. Apart from that, I think. I do agree with the fact that Ten Hag likes a goalkeeper who can play out from the back and who's adept with playing with his feet. But seeing him and seeing all of his interviews pre Premier League when he had just joined us in the practice games and all of those friendlies, he did say that I want to play attacking football and I want to entertain, but most importantly, I want to win games. And then he has
Right.
also shown that he has tactical tweaks up his sleeve. And
Yes.
post the Brentford game, when we got humiliated, he came out in the interview and he said that we knew that Brentford were going to press us high, and we were readying ourselves to play long ball, but we couldn't deal with their pressure, and we tried the short passway, which wasn't actually recommended by Ten Hag. So seeing all of that, seeing how he's adaptive, he played in an Ajax team. They were dominant in the Eredivisie, but they weren't in the Champions League in terms of possession and in terms of chance creation. They did play their football because that's what Ten Hag likes to do. But when they were facing Liverpool, they couldn't pass out from the back. So Ten Hag has this up his sleeve wherein he wants to dominate games, but he isn't like a Pep or a Jurgen Klopp that it's an absolute necessity. It's a want. It's a want. It would be good. We would do that with someone against Brentford when we face them the next time, or when we're actually good, when we have settled to Ten Hags. No, I don't think we'd try to do that against Liverpool and cities of this world, at least for a couple of years. So I do think that further solidifies De Gea's stance into our starting 11.
That's fair.
That
And
Brentford,
yes, and for a
that
change, it
Brentford,
actually feel okay. Go ahead, Sandeep.
sorry, that Brentford reverse game would be one hell of a game.
Yeah.
I mean, at
Oh
Old
yes,
Trafford,
actually.
and
Yes. Yeah. And like Antrik said, Ten Hag has tactical tweaks. It's good to be talking, having a manager who,
With tactics.
who's tactical. Yeah, exactly. It's been a long time since we spoke about that, and yeah, it's rather good to be talking about it once again. Abhijit, what do you think? Who should be our best goalkeeper? I mean, throughout the season, who would be the one that Ten Hag would rely on for this season? Abhijit, you're on mute.
Sorry. I
Yeah.
would straight away say DDG because he has the ability. He's, I think, if you have seen him in 4 games or 5 games, he's improving actually. If you look at the last season, how when the ball was passed to him, he was very fumbling at the time, or he was very coming under pressure or nervous. But this time, when you see after the Liverpool game, he has improved. Not much at that level, but he has improved in some amount of time that he doesn't get any pressurized even if you pass the ball. He plays the long balls. He have the short passes to Dalot at Martinez or even Malaysia. So I would say DDG for the PL part of the games. Apart from the cup and to the Europa League or FA Cup, I would say it will be a Dubravka because he has proven in Newcastle that because of him they have survived the season. So I would say
Agreed.
we can test him in that cup games and Europa League because that they are very high intensive games. Where you have rotation you have to rotate the squad fully. So it will be a good rest for DDG also, and we will have proven for the fact that we can give a chance to build up the play.
Correct. So yeah, this is a very good point that you put, Abhijit Bhai, talking about Martin Dubravka being one of the key reasons why Newcastle are in the Premier League for multiple seasons. He's pulled out rabbits out of his hats, so to speak,
Yes.
proverbially. So now we come to our defense. All of a sudden now, suddenly we've been seeing a defense who's actually thriving on the pressure, who are celebrating blocks and tackles like their goals themselves, and we have a defense that looks settled, and we have the proverbial dogs in our defense. We see a back line growing in confidence with every game. Now, the problem here comes is that in this season, our backline, almost our entire backline is almost certain to go to the World Cup. Almost certain. That is including the backups. The only additions, only players from the defense who won't be going to the World Cup is Victor Lindelof with Sweden and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who currently is in no man's land regarding his international status. So now we talk about the defense as a whole. Antrish, I put this question to you. The last 4 games have definitely showed us that this could be our defense for the entire Premier League. Do you agree to that point? Because this defense already looks settled and it looks like they've been playing for years. I might be going a little overboard in saying this, but I genuinely feel that this defense has a look that they've been playing together for years. And I certainly feel that this could be our best defense, come what may, barring a catastrophic injury crisis of sorts.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be really hard to agree, really hard to disagree. Pardon. Seeing the recent performances of our defense. But there are sort of 2 points. Trying to play the devil's advocate here. 2 points that sort of come to my mind while absolutely agreeing with that. The 2 points are, as much as I love us celebrating tackles and winning throw-ins and all of that, it's actually there's this thing in football, when it's pumped up and when it's like very high and when it's games like Liverpool and all of that, it's pretty easy to pick yourself up. And I'm not saying that we haven't performed apart from the Liverpool game, but like when you're high, when you're in that mood, when you're new, you're celebrating every tackle, it's easy to be a dullo and just go in that tackle. But again, can you do it on a rainy day at Stoke for over a year? Now we are, it's not just about 1 game now. I'm sort of extending that Stoke proverb to a year now, because we are in this moment right now. But how about when we may be conceding 2 goals in 3 games in a row, and then we have something that is maybe a top 4 decider or something like that. So what I would also want our defenders to perform when we are not celebrating tackles. Like, I don't see Virgil van Dijk celebrating every tackle, or Andy Robertson. They do there sort of occasionally, but they're sort of grown into the role. And I do expect that it's a new backline with the kind of pressure but it's, yeah, as I said, just playing the devil's advocate here. Second part of being the advocate is, we were actually fortunate against Arsenal, and we sort of need to keep that in mind. I mean, I sort of saw 3 instances where Malacia twice or thrice and Lisandro Martinez once, they just got spun. They just got absolutely spun.
Yes,
so the thing
I think
about
Saka had Malacia on skates the entire game, and that was a concern because Malacia, in that game particular, let his emotions get the better of him.
Exactly.
So yeah, I get that. Where it comes
so
from.
Again, the Eredivisie, they are Ajax and they're Feyenoord there. So not many people come and run at them, but it's the Premier League. Even Nottingham Forest, although they've signed 834 players, but they'd even come and run at you. So but my point being, in the Eredivisie you may be sort of doing that, but in the Premier League you can't be going in tackle every time. We saw glimpses of that when we were losing 4-0 and he substituted Shaw for Malacia, and he gave a cheap foul away when we could have tried to sort of salvage our pride and get a goal or 2 in the last 5-10 minutes, and he got a cheap foul away, and it was a really dangerous free kick. And if you remember, Saka just turned him upside down and then shot with his right foot while he was just trying to go into the tackle. Similarly, with Jesus, a bouncing ball came in and Martinez tried to, be the dog that he is, which I absolutely love about him, by the way, but it just got, again, spun away by Jesus. So although I absolutely love them, but I think, we may be getting a bit overboard, and that is where, although I agree this could be the strongest defense, only Tyrell Malacia gives me a bit of, we have seen Shaw in the glimpses of Roberto Carlos, for these 10 games a season. That is wherein I think, there's an outside chance of him. But otherwise, I really, really, really want them to stick together. And as you said, Delvin, right, they look like someone who have been playing together for years.
Exactly. So I like the devil's advocate for the Red Devils right there, Antrish. So it's rather insightful. You spoke about Malacia. And Sandeep, I put forward this question to you. So like Antrish said, there is a certain point that you can't let emotions get the better of you. And while Antrich Bhai definitely agreed that this will be our best defense going towards the latter stages of the season, do you have anything to add based on it? Or do you think that you find anything contrary to what Antrich Bhai has said, whatever you feel like?
No, so I like the fact that you played the devil's advocate because the manager exactly said this, that we should not get overboard with this, the results.
Correct.
The manager
Yes,
said exactly that we have been winning, but it's a long way to go.
Yeah.
So if you remember, like of course you remember, like if you think about it, Martinez, Varane, Dalot, and Malacia had been thrown into the team against Liverpool. There were no chances of those four. We had seen, we even in the the what do you call them, the preseason friendlies and all, we have never seen them play together. And Varane showed his Rolls Royce class. Martinez showed his dog. Tyrell Malacia showed his dog, and Diogo Dalot lived up to the expectations that we have been expecting from him for all these years, and we absolutely loved it. So, that be them counter-attacking goals or whatever, the defense was solid. Even the goal they conceded was a pinball situation which could have gone anyway. We did not let them sniff a goal from us, goal from them. So I would say that this defense certainly would be the best 11 defense for us. But I would also like to have Maguire back with his confidence, because he can do a role nowhere near the levels or standards we want in a United defender, but he can do a role. He can do a job for the maybe this season and next season, until and unless his contract is up or he gets sold for $20 million, 20 million pounds. So we have to we need all, as Delvin said, that we cannot have a defense who just lacks confidence, because that is not giving depth to the team. So that is very important. So we need all our defenders to be back in confidence, and England has been producing like right backs like anything. Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, you say. Aaron Wan-Bissaka gets nowhere in the World Cup squad. So, but the other players, all our defenders have a chance they start in their teams in the World Cup. So I would like to see all of them gain back the confidence, especially Shaw and Maguire. And you, Antariksh, very rightly said that Tyrell Malacia, he has already earned his £12 million move, I would say. He has already earned it. And I would like to see Shaw get back to his Roberto Carlos dog. Okay. So I would like to see Shaw coming back to his form. And ETH said it's going to be a long season and we should not get overboard. And I completely agree with that. So yeah, I think the best in the best 11, the topic for this video, best 11, these four: Malacia, Varane, Martinez, and Dalot. I think so.
Fair enough, Sandeep. Abhijit, what do you think? Do you agree with the thoughts of Sandeep and Antriksh, or do you have your own outputs on this?
No, I would say contrary to that, I agree with both the panelists, Sandeep Bhai and Antriksh. I only want to add that, just want to add one point, is that if we keep consistently performing the same defense line and same performance, we can gain back the confidence in the defense. And talking about Maguire, as Sandeep Bhai said, I just want to add one point for Maguire, that if you see in the England lineups, there are two defensive midfielder, Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice. So because of the presence of both the players, Maguire has lesser roles in the defense. So it actually complements him to perform more in the team. Same if now we have signed a proper CDM, that is Casemiro, and McTominay coming in back in some form, or gaining some back his confidence. So I would say Maguire will regain his confidence. It will be a very advantage for him, or a very compliment for him, that he will get back the confidence. He will play better in the Ten Hag system, and I hope he regains the confidence back.
Yeah, exactly, Abhijit. We all hope that Maguire comes to comes to the fore and deliver the performances like he did in the 2021 season. And at the end of the day, he is our player, and we'll definitely back him. And we hope that he comes with better performance. Now we come to arguably the position that has been the subject of a lot of discussion, a lot of debates, and a lot of criticism over the years as well. That's our midfield. Our midfield over the past 3 to 4 years have always been the Achilles heel of our team, and it has somehow always stopped us from going to the next level that any United team was built. So over the years, the successful United teams have always been built on a nucleus of some of the best midfielders in the country or in the world. And that is not an exaggeration when I say that. Take out the midfielders over the past 20 years, and you'll see that some of those midfielders are still being spoken about in high praise. That is the quality of midfielders that United used to produce. Stark contrast to the last 5 to 6 years, we've just not had the quality until this window. We've gotten Casemiro, and from the time we've bought in Casemiro, McTominay has been playing like a man possessed. Is not the McTominay of the last season, who used to only turn up twice a season against Leeds United. He's been putting in consistent performances for the last 4 games now. Fred is doing his thing. Then there is Christian Eriksen, who's doing his thing. There's Bruno Fernandes, who suddenly looks revitalized after a year of moping and whining around the sidelines last year. And all of a sudden, we suddenly have a midfield who can genuinely challenge, and that is not talking about Van de Beek in, because I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to start off this video about Van de Beek by saying I don't think Van de Beek finds a place in this midfield, because that something is wrong where Ten Hag is playing Eriksen 90 minutes day in and day out. There's something wrong with Van de Beek which we might not know about, but Ten Hag does. And I genuinely feel that it's going to be like a mercy killing, and I don't think Van de Beek finds a place in the team. But the rest of the positions are rather open to debate. And Abhijit, I would like to start off this section with you, and I want to know who would you pick up as your best 3 midfielders, considering that Ten Hag prefers a 4-3-3, and solely from a 4-3-3 perspective. I want to see what are your thoughts about who will be the best 3 in that midfield?
Definitely, I would want to say that the formation will be 4-2-3-1. Double pivot will be played in the Ten Hag system because it is gaining the result for us. Actually, I would say I would want to say that McTominay, Eriksen, and Eriksen at the deep, and I would say Bruno at the number 8. Why I would say McTominay instead of Casemiro, because मतलब एक होता है ना कि जितना उसने पूरा कॉन्फिडेंस गेन किया है अभी, तो टेन हैग का ये सोच है कि जितना निचोड़ना है निचोड़ लो, जितना मतलब अभी मैचेस है तो बिफोर वर्ल्ड कप जितना निचोड़ना है निचोड़ लो, जितना परफॉर्म करता है करने दो, बिकॉज वी वर डिमांडिंग अ डर्टी वर्क्स जो कर रहा है वो मैक्टोमनी, उसको पता, मतलब उसको टेन हैग ने बोल दिया है कि आप यही करो और बाकी कुछ नहीं करना है आपको, बस आपको अगर आपने मतलब आर्सेनल के गेम में जब जिनचैन को जब एक क्रॉस पास कर रहा था, तो फ्रॉम नाउ इधर से पता नहीं क्या उसको दिमाग क्लिक हुआ है, वो इंटरसेप्शन कर दिया बीच में अचानक, मतलब उसका सिक्स सेंस एकदम जाग गया और वो अचानक ही आ गया बीच में, मतलब he is reading the game, मतलब पता नहीं क्या हो गया, क्या टेन हैग ने क्या पता नहीं दवाई दी है क्या पता नहीं, लेकिन somehow वो एक मतलब इम्प्रूव कर रहा है, उसको पता है अभी उसका रिजल्ट भी आ रहा है। एरिक्सन मतलब टॉकिंग अबाउट नाउ एरिक्सन मतलब यूनाइटेड का एक मतलब एक बहुत से सालों से पहले, मतलब इन मोस्ट ऑफ द इयर्स इट इज अ मास्टर क्लास साइनिंग ऑफ एरिक टेन हैग, जो मतलब बोलते हैं ना कि he has totally calmed down the full midfield of United। भाई वो मार्कर को लूज कर सकता है, पीछे भी आ सकता है और आपको स्मार्टली आपको आगे मतलब आपको मिडफील्ड को रहने भी देता है. सो मतलब एक ऐसा प्लेयर जो यूनाइटेड चाहता था. अगर एफडीजे आ जाता तो वो भी अलग बात है, लेकिन एरिक्सन एक बहुत ही मतलब एक मास्टर क्लास साइनिंग है. टॉकिंग अबाउट ब्रूनो का अभी देखा तो एक एक्विजिट पासिंग कर रहा है. काफी मतलब एक क्विकली रन कर सकता है, स्मार्ट पासिंग कर सकता है. एरिक्सन के आने से वो मतलब और भी उसको कॉम्प्लीमेंट मिल रहा है कि हाँ भाई, आप तुम आगे रहो, खेलो, तुम जितना चाहे जितना आगे भी बोलो. एरिक्सन बोल रहा है कि भाई तुम आराम से खेलो, मैं इधर हूँ, तुम जो करना है करो. तो डेफिनेटली उससे ब्रूनो का अटैकिंग बहुत ही अच्छा हो रहा है. और एक बात बनी थी, फ्रेड और जिदान इकबाल विल बी रोटेट करेंगे. कैसेमेरो आई थिंक खेलेगा, लेकिन कुछ ही मैच में ज्यादा, लेकिन तब तक तो मैकटोमिनी को ही मैं प्रेफर करूंगा.
Abhijit, talking about McTominay is all of us. The way Abhijit spoke, like how suddenly McTominay turned up, it's all of us, to be really honest. And yeah. And so, yeah, Antariksh, what I want to say is we'll just go ahead with you about the latest. Like, is there anything else that you would like to change about what Abhijit thought about the ideal midfield, or something you want to add to what he said?
Right, Ellen, right. I'm in the middle of what Abhijit said. Starting 11, if I purely answer the question on what our best starting 11 will be, I think considering the Champions League titles, I think considering the price tag, I think considering the emergency with which we signed the guy and his sort of aura he brings into the team, I think it's inevitable that he will be in the starting 11. So just answering that as a yes or no question, but sort of absolutely agreeing with what Abhijit said, that nichodne wala kaam, I think it has to absolutely happen, because the guy played shit and he got rewarded for it, and he got pandered for it like anything on social media. But now the guy is actually turning up. He's showing the real dog. He's showing what Man United DNA is, rather than just jumping around and actually making something happen. So I genuinely think that we shouldn't be the Graham Souness of this world or the Jamie Carragher of this world and waiting for McTominay to make one mistake and then just replace him with Casemiro. I think till the time he's performing on a consistent basis, I think he should be the one who should be in the starting 11. But if I have to give you one sort of my starting defensive midfielder for the whole season, I think inevitably it's Casemiro. Then talking about the other two positions, I think it's pretty clear. It's Bruno and Eriksen. Eriksen just came in and he gave us everything that every midfielder post Carrick and Scholes should have given us. Everything, from work rate to the vision to their effortless, not chirping much, but their effortless playing for the badge. And those sort of symbolisms. Like, I mean, I don't see players who play for their badge specifically. I just see players who either play for their badge in whichever team they are, or they don't. There are the Pogbas of this world, which I can't really rely on ever in my life. Like, whichever club they go, whichever nation they play for. And then there are Eriksens. When he was at Tottenham, he wasn't known for playing for the Tottenham badge, but I'm sure he did. He isn't also known, someone like a McTominay or someone, like a Bruno would be on your face, but he has covered the most distance. So if that's not playing for the badge, then what is? So the great thing about Eriksen and what sort of differentiates him from Bruno is clever when he's attacking, whereas Christian Eriksen is clever even when he's defending. Bruno can give you an outlet for a pass when you're attacking, but Christian Eriksen takes you out of danger even while you're defending. He like why McTominay has improved, because McTominay has been told, as Abhijit mentioned, you go in there, you bully people, you take your customary 70th minute yellow card, and go back home. That's his job now. And whenever in danger, just pass to Christian Eriksen, who inevitably makes a move into the space wherein no opposition members could be found and takes up a space. That also, sort of gives us an extra passing option. Then another difference between Bruno and Christian Eriksen is not a stat padder. He doesn't look for glory. He doesn't need numbers to again play for the badge. It's nothing against Bruno. Bruno has the knack to hit the Hollywood pass. He would be in the center of the field. He would ping a 50-yarder there. But Christian Eriksen would pass to someone who could actually assist. So he's the assister of the assister. You know what? I usually
pass
compare.
before the pass.
I usually
pass
compare
before the
him
pass.
to David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne when
Correct.
they played together.
Yeah.
So again, not comparing the two, but in this context, David Silva is equal to Christian Eriksen and Bruno being what Fernandes is. Not comparing the levels by any means before the comment section absolutely ponders me out. So exactly. So his work rate off the ball, the options he gives us, he's that one player. If you have him in your team, you always have that extra man to pass to. So I think it's completely. I mean, he is the guy that we would have wanted in the midfield since ages. I mean, I've not seen one since Carrick scores. So for me, the eventual lineup is Casemiro with Christian Eriksen as the 8 and Bruno as the 10. For sure.
So, you know, to surmise what you're talking about Bruno and Christian Eriksen basically is Bruno is a player who rises in the moment. Bruno is a moment's player, you know, he comes alive in that moment where he doesn't have a split second to think about. You give Bruno time to think, probably not deliver that exact quality that you're looking for, but you give him that instinct, you know, like, you know, if, for example, you give him 3 players just in front of him and then suddenly he'll just bring that. Eriksen is a player for the game, not a player for the moment. So that is what I could surmise from what you're saying. And you said about not chirping much and, you know, doing your job. That explains it much than his post-match interview against Arsenal. He's done a phenomenal job. He's put in 2 passes before the assist and an assist. He walks out in slippers. He talks to the point. He talks about his performance. He talks about the team's performance, and he just walks off. This is the type of player that you want, that you would love to have on your side. You know, he doesn't talk about anything that is not required. He talks about the bare essentials, does his job, and then goes away. That is exactly a profile of a midfielder that we have had over the years, and Eriksen is just another one in the long line of those. And that is exactly working into us. And to again put forward, you know, what you were saying about Eriksen's impact. Christian Eriksen has completed the most passes on our side, 3rd most key passes, and he has the 2nd most touches, and he's received, like you said, he's able to receive a pass in any situation. He's the person who's received the most passes on our side. So slowly, steadily, Christian Eriksen is becoming that rock where Erik ten Hag builds his church on. That is exactly what Christian Eriksen is turning out to be. Sandeep, I put forward the same question to you. You know, Antriksh has spoken about the price tag of Casemiro and Casemiro being able to enter into the midfield sooner or later due to his quality. But what do you think? Is Casemiro going to be the starting midfielder along with Eriksen or Bruno? Or do you have any other midfield combination according to you would be the best for United this season?
So I would like to say just one sentence about describing Eriksen and Bruno. Bruno will win you matches. Eriksen will win you titles. I think that is the best way to put forward Eriksen and Bruno quality. Bruno will win you a particular match, and Eriksen will win you titles. So, Sir Alex Ferguson said about offense and defense. So, and coming back to your point,
couldn't win Tottenham any. Sorry, Sandeep bhai, but let's hope he changes it here.
Yes. Well, it's
he did win with Inter, I guess.
He
did win with Inter.
He did.
Yeah. It's
Sorry,
Tottenham, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no issues. So, coming back to the midfield 3, I think McTominay possesses the shirt as of now. He is the midfielder we go to as of now. But over time, I think Casemiro walks into the team. Casemiro's quality, Casemiro's trophy cabinet, medals cabinet, whatever you tell, and exactly what Antriksh bhai said, it's the aura. You know, Casemiro is in your team. He's like the bedrock of the midfield, which is shielding the defense. So I think Casemiro comes into the team sooner or later. But अभिजीत भाई जो बोला निचोड़ना है मैक्टोमिने को, उसका भी फॉर्म है, उसको खेलने दो. लीड्स और ब्रेंटफोर्ड 2 गेम्स मिलता था उसके सीजन में, पहले सीजन्स में, कि सिर्फ लीड्स और ब्रेंटफोर्ड के अगेंस्ट वो खेलेगा. लेकिन इस बार I think he has been performing consistently, and I think he possesses the shirt as of now. Rotations will be there, changes will be there, but Casemiro, talking of the best 11, Casemiro comes in 100%. 100% Casemiro comes in, and the other two positions fill themselves. It's Bruno and Bruno and Eriksen. And talking about the other midfielders which we have in store for us with Fred and Donny, and maybe Zidane Iqbal, if you say. So they come into the rotational matches where you have to play like Carabao Cups and Europa Leagues. They can come in and do a job. But my best midfield three would be Casemiro, Bruno, and Eriksen. And also, I would like to say, we haven't had a coach as a manager for so many years. Erik ten Hag has done such a job that we are debating whether to keep McTominay in the team over Casemiro. So you can imagine the level of output he has brought from McTominay and coached him. Dalot, look at Dalot. I mean, he was loaned out to AC Milan because Ole did not have a place for him and Wan-Bissaka with his spider tackles. But Dalot has improved such a lot under Ten Hag in the attacking system and as well as defense. You remember the cross to Eriksen in the beginning of the Arsenal match. That was a pinpoint cross, and I think it was 100% goal, but he missed by a whisker. So that ability of Ten Hag to bring the best out of midfielders, defenders, attackers, and his ability to coach them, I think that doesn't get talked of enough. So we are debating whether to keep McTominay in the position where Casemiro plays. McTominay and Casemiro, I mean, think about it. So that is the level of job Ten Hag has done. I think Casemiro walks into the team further down the season, and McTominay, right now, we have to take however much we can from him as long as he's performing in the same levels.
So that's our midfield. And I think it's a 2v1 where two of them are in favor of Casemiro, Bruno, Eriksen, whereas one believes that McTominay should be the defending midfielder. So all in all, good for us if all our midfield works as a unit. So now we come to arguably what I feel is the most unpredictable, the most exciting, and the most aggressive attacking options that we have in the past few years. Okay? We have attackers from all walks of the world. We have an attacker from the cages of London. We have an attacker from the favelas of Brazil. We literally have the legend of Madeira with us. And we have Rashford from the streets of Wythenshawe. We have Anthony Martial, who has just stormed his way out of Le Havre in France. So we have attackers from different cultures, from different styles, and from different playing tactics as well. All this in the theater of dreams. This is something that we as United fans have been starved of, and then we have a little bit of Argentinian flair in our very own Garnacho as well, not removing him, and we have some Swedish durability in Anthony Elanga. So we have a lot of attacking options to choose for. For the first time, we have a little glut of attacking options. Now, here's where the interesting part is. We cannot have two strikers in a lineup with Erik ten Hag wants to. Erik ten Hag has not as of yet tinkered with the possibility of having two strikers. Maybe or maybe not, that's a question for another day. Right now, there is only room for one striker. And if the sample size of the first 6 games are to be believed, I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo makes that. No matter he's the greatest goal scorer of all time, no matter he's a legend whose name is etched in gold, no matter what his reputation is, his reputation arguably precedes the game. But At this point in time at Old Trafford, I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo has that starting spot. Coming to the wings, it's a massive toss up. There are a lot of options to pick up from. There are your definite options, there are your fallback options, and then there are your absolute wild card options you could pick up. You know, this is like Professor X making the Powerpuff Girls. You have everything, and then you have that element X, and then all of a sudden, boom, you have an absolute
Both bald
dynamite
guys.
attack. Yeah, exactly.
Both bald guys.
So both bald guys, exactly. So there you have it. This is a rather interesting topic. I've been itching to talk about it ever since this video started. And Abhishek, Antriksh, I'll just go ahead and throw this to you. What's your best attack for this season? Yeah, I can see by the look in your face that you have a lot to speak about as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having sort of second thoughts as to what should be the starting 4-5, let alone the starting three. So yeah, I mean, as you talked about the gullies of Europe, I would just try to summarize that. I think we have our own Peter Drury with us. I mean, I had goosebumps. I swear, I had goosebumps. I mean, come on, man, just wow. So, but yeah, keeping the magnanimous poetry aside, I think as you just mentioned, we just have so many options, and also that you mentioned that Ronaldo probably doesn't make it, and that tells us everything about, it's only a good sign for us. As incredible as that sounds, that Ronaldo can't get into the squad, that can never be a bad sign for an attack. So I'd absolutely agree with it, that Ronaldo can't be here. But then again, we are taking this starting 11 in a very perfect world where Anthony Martial stays fit, which
Correct.
doesn't
Absolutely.
really happen.
Which right now looks like a pipe dream, but
Exactly.
then exactly. Yeah.
So exactly. So we are taking, but let us take that perfect world into account. I think Anthony Martial absolutely goes there. He is someone who Erik ten Hag really wanted. As soon as he came in, there were talks of a new contract. Even before he kicked the ball, there were talks of new contract. He, I don't know, would work hard or not. I would be inclined to believe. I would be optimistic that he would. First of all, he has to stay fit. But he's someone who gives us that not any of our attackers give. Ronaldo kind of gives it, but according to his age, I don't think he really does it now, which is holding up the ball pretty well. I think Ronaldo has taken the Bruno Fernandes route now, where he tries to go down before actually holding up the ball. So that sort of inclines me towards Anthony Martial's hold-up play, which has been absolutely brilliant. The way he sent Virgil van Dijk back to Celtic was just absolutely amazing to see. When he just sort of moved him away. So in the striking position, if he's fit, it's absolutely Anthony Martial day in, day out. As much as I'm inclined to, actually go for a front three of Antony's, I would have to say with on the left side, it'll have to be Sancho, and on the right side it'll be Antony. For the simplest of the reasons that they're not wide forwards, they are wingers. And we want wingers at this club. From time immemorial, we've had wingers at this club who have been, when told so, crossing in the box like a fucking machine, when told. I mean, Antony's primary role, as much as he likes to be that part-time Robin, cutting in and scoring, his first and primary, instinct is to actually deliver the ball into the box. Same in Jadon Sancho, as much as he tries to be the part-time Ronaldinho, his primary job is to go in and give a pass into the box. And for that very reason, I believe. And then the plethora of talent we've gotten in terms of Anthony Langa, our own Argentine Ronaldo, which is Garnacho, and then someone like a Rashford, who could even start up top and sometimes on the left as well. The beauty about this attack is, and the beauty of modern football is, that forward players are no more stuck to one position. So we could actually have an instance wherein we could have Rashford, Martial, and Ronaldo as the front three, who all three have been playing as strikers. So with Martial going left, Rashford going right, and Ronaldo being at the top. So combinations are plenty, but I would go for Sancho, Martial, and Antony.
Yeah, that's a rather fair summarization of what we could expect from our attack, over the season and over the course of the next few months. Talking about Sandeep, so like Antrich pointed out that we need wingers, and Sancho and Antony in particular are inverted wingers more to be rather precise, not pure wingers, because Antony is a lefty playing on the right, and same goes to Sancho, who's a righty playing on the left. This gives us the added dimension of going inside while our fullbacks are able to overlap. That gives us another dimension in attack. So Sandeep, I want to talk to you about how exactly you feel our attack moves towards. You know, we will the same question will pertain to you as well. What would be your preferred attacking formation and why? But here the question also arises is how will you manage so much talent? Because let's be honest, we can play a number of combinations with the attacking options we have at our disposal. Not we cannot be, and like Antrik said, with the amount of flexibility we have tactically as well as talent wise, the combinations that are in hand of Ten Hag are innumerable. So what would you think would be the ideal one that works?
So for the ideal one to work, I need Martial fit. Okay, so Martial has been fit and on a bad form. Martial has been on a good form but has been unfit. I need him to be on good form and fit. So to construct the perfect, ideal starting 11, Martial has to be fit. So now I will talk about two scenarios. Antarish Bhai really well pointed out really well that Sancho and Antony on the wings are crosses in the box. And I think in that system, instead of Martial, Ronaldo benefits more with his heading ability and his striking ability. So I can see two scenarios working out. It's Sancho and Antony on the wings, left and right respectively, and Ronaldo starting up front. I'm talking of an ideal world where everyone is on form and everyone is fit. So, and another system that works is Rashford and Sancho on the left and right, with Martial in the middle. We have seen it work wonders for Rashford, Martial, and another number 11 who used to play for us. So it worked really well for those three combos. And Rashford and Martial have a very good chemistry between them when they play. And Martial would, his heading ability is not as great as Ronaldo's, but Sancho, Martial, and Rashford can combine really well, and they can swap wings positions, forward positions. Martial can go to left, Rashford can go to the middle, Sancho be on the right, Sancho go to the left, Rashford be on right. They would be unplayable if they're swapping positions each and every attack. They would be unplayable. So I think that one situation works out really well. And when we are playing against a low block and we can, put in crosses into the penalty box, I think Sancho on the left and Antony on the right would really work well with Ronaldo up front with his heading ability. And of course, if it's a low cross, he will smash it home. No doubts about that. So I think my ideal 11, I would go for. So my ideal 11 changes here actually. I would go for Sancho on the left, Antony on the right, and Martial in the middle, because all three are very technical players, which Ten Hag, wants. So that would be my ideal 11 as an Antarish Bhai, but Rashford is on tremendous form, but on the left wing. I would not play him as a forward right now. So Martial, Sancho, and Antony.
Sure. So that's another rather insightful take, on the wealth of attacking options that we have at our disposal. Abhijit, by coming to you now, like Sandeep said, some of our players perform very well in one position and do not perform in other positions. Now we take Rashford for example. Okay. Now let's put Rashford in the spotlight for a second. The Rashford of last season looked absolutely short. Be it confidence, be it confidence on his personal level, be it confidence on his game. And this is a boy who absolutely gives this the impression of a boy who loves football when you put a ball at his feet. So what do you think is Rashford's best position? We've seen him play across everywhere in the forward line of Abhijit Bhai. We've seen him play on the left. We've seen him play on the right as well. We've seen him play as a striker. And in each position he's played, he's had mixed results. Okay. What do you think is the best position for Rashford in this side? Is it on the left? Is it on the right? Or is it as a forward?
I would say that Rashford's ideal position is left winger only. He can't play as a striker or number 9 in the team, as Jose Mourinho was spot on for that. He can't be a striker because he don't know the runs a striker can what makes. He doesn't have that in mindset, or you can say thinking ability to when to run and when to step back. So that really makes him a very bad position in that number 9. So I would say he would play in number 9. But talking about the Rashford's form now, Rashford has improved really well in the left winger position only, not as a number 9. We have I would like to add some points from to Antariksh and Sandeep Bhai and you also, that we are playing with this front three because we all know the fact that Martial is injured. So definitely we can't. ETH is not relying on this attack. Sancho and Antony are definitely at the wingers. Both the position they have cemented there. Rashford is just बोलते हैं ना कि एक ऑप्शन है इसके लिए वो खेल रहा है. He has no any option. ETH has no option to play at number 9. So definitely वो एक खेल रहा है कि ठीक है अभी क्या करें, ऑप्शन नहीं है हमारे पास. Talking about Ronaldo, I have a different opinion here. मतलब एक आपको you will not agree with me, but लेकिन रोनाल्डो एक रोनाल्डो इज ट्रस्टिंग द प्रोसेस एक्चुअली. उसको टीम पे एक प्रोसेस और ट्रस्ट दोनों हो रहा है और बिल्ड हो रहा है फ्रॉम ETH के. एंड इफ यू हैव सीन इन द लास्ट 2-3 गेम्स ऑफ द बॉल वो काफी अच्छा रहा है. ही एक्चुअली इन द आर्सेनल गेम वो प्रॉपर 9 प्रॉपर फॉल्स 9 की तरफ खेला है. ही हैज प्लेड आल्सो इन as a winger also, striker also, and he came back also. So एक मतलब आप we are using him, you are using in strategically. वो आपको पूरा अगर पिछला सीजन देखे तो रोनाल्डो हमने पूरा गेम देखा तो उससे क्या वो ब्लंट हो गया था, पूरी तरह हम यूज कर नहीं सके उसको जिस तरह हम अभी यूज कर रहे. So ETH is making that instead of using in full game, you use him 30-40 minutes so that he can make that 5 to 6 7 sprints. If you know that almost goal when Fred intercepted the Ramsdale pass, so that was the one glimpse. That was one glimpse of that sprint of that full intensity. So he can make the if in 30-40 minutes he can make the press intensely and consistently. So I would say that Ronaldo fits. संदीप भाई ने भी बोला कि क्रॉस कर सकते तो तब रोनाल्डो की जरूरत पड़ सकती है. जब हम फॉल्स 9 खेलेंगे तो आई विल गो फॉर रैशफोर्ड, क्योंकि हम रोटेट कर सकते हैं इधर उधर, तो यू कैन यूज हिम एनी हाउ वी वांट. एंटनी के बारे में एक बात बोलना चाहूंगा कि वो डायनामिज्म लाता है प्लेइंग 11 में. तो वो आपको एक ही पोजीशन में देखेगा नहीं, वो हमेशा आप देखोगे कि वो फ्री रोम करेगा. अगर आपने एजेक्स के मैचेस देखे होंगे तो देखेंगे कि रोम्स फ्रीली, और वो कट इन भी करता है, ये भी बॉल रिटेंशन है, ब्राजीलियन प्लेयर है उसमें. तो वो एक इंटेंसिटी लाता है गेम में कि भाई मुझे क्या करना है मुझे पता है, आई विल गो. और वो अपने ऊपर प्लेयर्स लेता है, ही टेक्स द प्लेयर्स. जब आपने लास्ट फर्स्ट 10 मिनट्स ऑफ आर्सेनल में देखा हो, then he took the 2 players defenders and he smartly passed the ball to the Dalot, और वही अपने Dalot ने वो क्रॉस किया. तो सेम कि एंटनी फिट्स द राइट विंगर जो हम चाहते थे कि जो जितने साल में ग्रीनवुड ने जो फरवरी में जो हमको छोड़ के गया था, तो हमारे गोल्स कम हो चुके थे, दैट प्लेस ही हैज रियली फिल्ड अप एंड वो काफी अच्छा है.
So yeah, Sandeep bhai, Abhijit bhai, I am totally in line with you the way you've said it. Like uh, I would rather go ahead and find your views rather insightful on the way you've spoken about the requirement of someone to fall on the end of crosses. Talking about the fact that we have crossers and we need someone to put those crosses in the back of the net naturally. So that's where Ronaldo comes into play. Also with the Ten Hag giving Ronaldo 30-40 minutes as an impact sub, which also increases his propensity to press and increase his propensity to sprint, which has been missing throughout the last season. That was a little bit, which left a lot to be desired from an overall perspective. Yes, he got his goals. Yes, he did what he was supposed to do, but the team around him faltered as a whole. So all in all, after getting some really amazing insights from all three of you, we've come to the conclusion that our ideal 11 that Ten Hag is going to use for the remainder of the season in the coming months, injuries notwithstanding, is David De Gea at goal, a back four of Tyrell Malacia, Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez, Diogo Dalot, a midfield three of Casemiro, Bruno, and Eriksen, and an attacking lineup of Jadon Sancho on the left, Antony on the right, and Anthony Martial as our number 9. So yeah, this is a very juicy and a very delicious 11. We could expect a lot of fireworks in this 11. We have 11 which looks coherent on paper and on the evidence of the past 4 games on the pitch as well. We have a coach who's ready to change the game as and when the situation demands, and we have a quality to pick up 5 subs from the bench, which will change the outcome of a match as and when the situation requires, be it us chasing a game, be it us in control of the game, or be it when we are absolutely cruising throughout the game. So we have 11 and we have a substitutes bench that is capable of competing amongst the best in the league. Will we be able to compete in the immediate future? That is a question for another day. But right now, things are looking very positive for us. We have a sense of cohesion. We have a sense of forward direction per se, both in terms of a strategy which is being seen on the pitch. Ten Hag is working his way through the players. He's getting his messages out to the fans. He's already got us on his side, but after the performances, after the setback, he's already got us wanting more. And this is what, as Manchester United fans, we are spoiled for. We always want more. It's been to our detriment sometimes, but right now the path is right. The lineup is there. The manager is there. We need the performances from the players, and we need to take every game at a time, one step, one punch, one round at a time. And this season is just getting started, guys. This season is going to be a roller coaster of emotions, and it's going to be a rush of adrenaline at every game, because of the way the games will come in thick and fast. I don't think we're going to have time to breathe after games, be it whatever, irrespective of the result. We will not have time to, we won't have time to breathe. So, thank you for all your amazing insights. Thank you for your amazing thoughts about the lineups. And it was amazing to talk to you about this topic, which I wanted to talk about for quite a long time. And rest assured, I am more than happy, and I've absolutely enjoyed this episode. And I hope our viewers will also enjoy this episode when they tune into it. It's you, and for our subscribers and for our loyal audience, you all can also go ahead in the comment section and put in what according to you all is your best 11. From us, from MESC Red Devils NCR, this is goodbye, and glory Man United to everyone watching. Do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be coming on with a lot of content daily, and please show us your love and support at every step. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
GGMU.
GGM.